Corporate Diary. I thought about doing something so different today, but also reminiscent of a video that I did a couple of years ago on management consulting. So if you recall, I did a day in the life of a management consultant, and I took you guys from Montreal to Vancouver, and I was flying, actually, I did a pit stop in Vancouver because I was flying to San Francisco where I had a client. And so a couple of years later, I told you guys I'm no longer in management consulting. The line of work that I do right now is quite different, but at the same time there are ties to consulting. And I thought, why don't I take you guys on into a day in the life of a corporate venture capitalist slash incubation person, or someone in tech, business, and growth. I am a growth architect at an incubator, which is also the corporate venture arm of a very large consulting firm. So in the way that we work is quite different. So something that I like to talk about is usually that we will invest, we will invent, build, and scale startups with the world's most important companies or influential companies. So what that means is that we will create startups from the ground up. We will innovate across a variety of different cohorts, from product managers, engineers, software engineers, to experienced designers who are responsible for the UX UI, strategic designers. We have growth architects, venture specialists, or venture architects, right? And so there's so many different people and disciplines that come together to form startups and build companies from the ground up, with Fortune 100s or Fortune 500s. So really, really incredible work that we produce there. And I thought it's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting world and field. And so why don't I take you guys on to see the ins and outs of my day or my week. And I'll say that I filmed a couple of the video pre-COVID and also post-COVID, during COVID, if you will. So I may include some clips of me traveling, because there is travel involved when we're working with corporate partners who reside outside of New York. I'm in New York City now. I moved from Montreal, Canada. Given, with consulting, I was pretty much living out of hotels for 3 years, and so I thought, that's it, I'm done. I'm ready to finally settle down in my own city, and New York was really that place. So I thought about breaking up the week so that you guys can see my day-to-day changes, but what it's like to wake up to being in VC in many ways, and in tech in others. So today's an interesting day. I have a lot ahead of me. I have a call with a corporate executive. So I'm speaking to the CEO and providing some of those recommendations / execution work on go-to-market, because I'm leading go-to-market as a growth person, or as the growth architect. And as a head of go-to-market, or interim head of growth, there's a lot that I have to inform on. And you'll also get to see some of my morning rituals, my evenings, going out here in New York City. A lot of it is based off of networking and who you know, and different founders, different people that can provide knowledge as to the best-in-class examples of growth, product, and more. So super excited. Let's get into it. Mornings are usually not business focused, because I like to start my day in a very relaxed manner so that I'm ready to take on the challenges that my day requires. if I'm not watching a vlog or listening to an Audible podcast or something that's, again, lighthearted, I'll listen to a Bible study. There's a couple of different channels on YouTube, and it's my way of meditating. It's my way of getting and easing into my day through prayer as far as routines go. I'll listen to jazz or bossa nova, have my breakfast, sit down at my desk, or go to the office, and I will open my email, and the first thing I'll do is read my venture capital newsletters. The thing about VC newsletters is that I'm in growth. I'm responsible for scaling startups with our corporate partners. So I'm not really too worried about like the recent M&As and whether or not I'm ahead of the curve and getting my news in that regard. It's more so, okay, what are the best in class newsletters in terms of growth metrics and growth hacks. So I am gonna set up my Zoom just because this team tends to go on quite early. So we just had the chance to finish the meeting. I had my go-to-market meeting with the president, or the CEO, if you will, and so that was really incredible. Yay! So now that we did that, we're actually gonna go to the office, which is really exciting because I haven't been there in 5 months, or like, yeah, 5 months, wow. And my office is the place that I used to love going to and working from. I really loved it there. And so I really hope that I get to show you guys a little bit more of what that used to look like, or what it looks like, depending on whether or not they allow me to go in and film. I'm just there to pick up a couple of items that I left pre-COVID. Just wanna make sure that now that I've got the green light, that I make the most out of my time. So let's get going, and I hope that I get to show you guys where it is that I have built a lot of the incredible ventures that I've been on. All right, so, oops. I have this Target bag that I'm gonna be bringing with me, so that way I can store all of my goods in there. I don't know if that's gonna be enough though. I'll also bring like a SoulCycle bag just in case. Let me just do that. I'm excited, oh my gosh. I get to like do something different today.
Going up. Doors open.
Reminds me of my first time that I came here on travel. I came here, I traveled here, and I interviewed, and I remember trying not to get too excited, and I told myself, if I don't get the job, then that's okay, it wasn't meant to be. Don't get too excited, just do whatever you can, do your best. And I remember presenting a go-to-market strategy and being really excited, and it was an incredible interview when I met the team that I work with today, filled with growth architects. So they were just amazing, and I don't know, being here right now is just quite surreal, and just makes me so grateful for my job. So we're gonna go inside, and hopefully they let me pick up my items and let me film. Let's do that. Working out of the office, it was pretty nice because we would all grab lunch together, and usually it was your venture team or any of your colleagues that you saw in the office. People are staffed cross ventures, so we may be building things in New York or LA, Manhattan Beach, where the other office is, or really like where our corporate partners are. So it really depends on like where companies are headquartered and where their teams are at. So I was flying a lot last year in 2019, and this year a bit as well. I was traveling mostly to like Northeast, so I was staying around New York area slash like other spots like Boston, and still pretty close, right? So that wasn't too bad of a commute. But yeah, I feel like things are definitely different. Something that I've done with one of my friends is we created the Ladies Who Lunch from home just to kind of elevate our spirits and have a club on Slack as well as on Zoom where you can just grab a friend, a lady, and be a lady who lunches, but from home. So that's really helped out. We tend to do a lot of happy hours there, and you know what, there's been a lot of great venture capital events that I've seen across virtually as well as tech events. So I was able to connect with a few people when I attended the Collision event. It's a tech conference that usually happens in Toronto, but it happened virtually, so that was awesome. Got to connect with a couple of different early stage VCs to pick their brains, as well as just people in the industry. It's quite a small it's a small community in New York, as well as San Francisco, I'd say, but New York is so much smaller than SF, so you get to kind of know who's at what firm, and yeah, and just see how you guys can help each other. Something that I like about corporate VC is that I'm the one that goes in and actually builds the ventures themselves. It's not just like I'm gonna invest and then I leave and have like sort of a consulting role. No, like I'm there in and out, day in and day out with my teams, and we're all working on this venture together with the major corporation, sorry, the corporate partner. So I tend to know a lot about growth metrics, unit economics, how to think about scaling companies, and all the strategies designed to do that, whether that is through ad spend, what tactics on Facebook, Google, affiliate marketing, offsite linking, SEO. I mean, there's so much that goes into building a startup, building a digital startup, really. And I'd say that in early stage venture capital, a lot of people have those questions as to, okay, what kind of tools should I recommend to the entrepreneur or to the founder, to the team? How can we arm them? And the fact that I'm really like doing that on a day-to-day and responsible for the scaling of the startup, whether we're in innovation, incubation, or commercialization, is quite interesting, and I think really sets corporate VCs to be very successful, either founders or venture capitalists, if they were to go into the traditional route. Yeah, I think there's also that the fact that I'm a growth architect and I have to work with product managers all the time. I work with software engineers. Not that I can code or anything like that, but I understand the marketing tech stack. I can speak to some of those integrations. I can speak to e-com. I can speak to product requirements and that interconnectivity between us building something tangible or intangible to then launching it, and all the activities that go in before, between, and after. So there's a lot of growth testing as well when it comes to the financial models that we will help with. So I'm able to run tests, multivariable testing across our value propositions, just to make sure that we're hitting the target, that we understand what our customer looks like. We're also testing products. If there's different concepts that we need to test for, we can do that. So geographies, I mean, you name it, you can think about whatever variable, and it's quite incredible the power that growth architects have in the VC space and incubations, tech in general, and the startup world. So woo, it's been amazing. That's a lot of information.